No wig, that was all you.
Yeah, I had to shave it every morning.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
And I know what shaving a head takes, so I can totally sort of empathize with you.
Made me think that even if it is glorifying Titan,
Yeah.
even if it is, it might be for a good reason in
Exactly.
this particular case.
Yeah.
I don't know, it comes to me, I'm glad.
I used to tell my co-actors, I am playing it very subtle, but I am really quite overwhelmed by his presence.
Yeah.
So one of my friends was like, ये
Why
सिर्फ
it's
तुझे
not
लगता है कि तू subtle है, पूरी दुनिया को दिख रहा है, you are overwhelmed. Both of us had tears in the eyes, like moist eyes, and this is something which was not planned. It is just because of the magic that was created by Naseer sir.
So life imitated art in this case. I mean, art imitated life in this case, and we just got to play what we actually felt in the moments.
Right,
so
true.
it was very easy to make that transition.
Hi, here we are to talk about Made in India Titan story, and I have Jim and Vaibhav with me. Thank you for your time. Welcome to Hindustan Times.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Jim and I were just discussing something. I was watching the screeners as the Amazon MX player people were very kind to send me. And he asked me if he thought his hair was real. Because as Xerxes Desai, he has a bald patch spot, whatever you want to call it. No wig involved there.
No wig.
No wig. That was all you.
Yeah, I had to shave it every morning.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
And I know what shaving a head takes, so I can totally sort of empathize with you.
Yeah, well, I didn't have to shave it. Poor Priya had to shave it every morning. But the regular life was a bit tough.
Yeah.
Hats all the time. All the time. Because if you choose to go bald, that's one thing. Then you shave it all off and you rock it. But,
not this.
This look, this is the kind of look where if it started to happen to me, I would just shave everything.
Shave it off. Yeah.
I feel I would. Or maybe I'd go to Turkey, come back a little while later.
And then we'll see a whole new Jim.
New full head of hair, nose job, jaw realignment surgery.
You know this is being recorded, right? just asking you if we have started rolling. But I'll come to the show more like, I have always been wary of Indian shows or films made on a particular company or brand. And I'll tell you why, because I have felt that in the past, we have turned to the hagiographic route. I wasn't here. Because when I first heard about the show and the cast, I said, okay, these people would not involve themselves in anything that was in any way agenda driven. So when you were offered this, both of you, at what point did you feel, okay, this was a genuine organic story and we're not trying to do a brand building exercise here?
I guess the name itself cleared all the doubts.
Okay.
Normally what used to happen whenever I was doing a new project, people come and ask you, what is your next project? So I used to be like, this is the project, this is the romantic story. And I used to build the world of the project. When for this particular project, when I just told my friends or anyone that I'm doing a project called Titan, so from there on the conversation was hijacked by the other person. He used to tell me stories regarding that. What my first watch was gifted to me by my father when I cleared the 10 exams and all.
Right.
So I guess this emotionally belonged to the audience even before we started the shoot. So this kind of a question never came in my mind.
Of course.
Also, Titan hadn't commissioned it.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't coming from them.
Right.
It wasn't their desire to tell this story or put it out into the world. It was Sunil Bora reading the book and being like, wow, this is truly an exciting story. And I'd even heard before that a whole chapter is devoted in MBA classes in certain places to the development of Titan and how it was developed and how it's such an interesting case study of kind of a startup model before there were startup models. So all of these are the reasons that made me think that even if it is glorifying Titan, even if it is, it might be for a good reason in this particular case.
Yeah.
So, in a strange way, not in a way that I've chosen at all, but I find myself answering questions in relation to me playing a real life character many times.
Yeah.
I think 80% or 90% of the work I've done, 80% maybe
Real people.
Real people.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre.
So I have a question for you, is that if there's an industrious visionary from Bombay and he's going on screen, do you find a way to be part of the project? How does that work for you?
I don't know, it comes to me, I'm glad. I'm glad.
But now do you have a process for playing people based in real life? Because that's been a lot of your career. Or do you treat every role differently?
I try to treat it based on the script. purely what is the character's function within the overall story. It may not be perfectly what they were in real life or anything like that, but that this is a story at the end of the day. And yes, it's based on real people, but the story still has to have all of the elements that make a story exciting, and a character exciting. So I try to view it like that. I try to view it not with the burden of the past and the burden of the real person, but more, what can I do within the structure of this particular script and this particular lens through which we're looking at this time period to represent this person the best in that story.
The character, not the real person.
The character.
So you are not one who goes for the mannerisms or looks at footage to capture
There was no footage of him that I could find.
You couldn't.
I would have seen. Yeah, of course, there's no harm in watching if there is a lot of the stuff that is out there, because little things you can take and you can make them your own, and you can see how those things then have that knock-on effect of deciding other things. Like if a person is always fiddling with their hands, it means something. It's nice, One thing about him that I really liked is that he, despite being such a perfectionist, right, and despite him having such an eye for detail, he was such a sloppy dresser. In all of his pictures, his shirt is out from the side and his tie is not on properly and his jacket is half on. It was something he just didn't care about.
Yeah, it was all, like, perfection came towards his work.
You saw that it came outwardly,
Right.
And he wasn't afraid to roll his sleeves up and look as disheveled as any other worker in the factory, when it came down to it. I like that.
That's important.
I thought that was an interesting...
That's a nice take. Yeah.
So, for example, so having the source material can really help. But you shouldn't get straitjacketed by the source material if your particular film is not looking at it through that lens.
Your characters in the series have this chemistry that is the backbone here. Do you believe that actors off camera, on set, also need to have that chemistry to take that forward? Or are you a between action and cut kind of a person?
When it comes to the emotion, yes, I am that kind of a person between action and cut. I don't like that emotion doesn't linger on.
Right.
But when it comes to chemistry, I feel it's the comfort level that you share with the other person. It's not necessary that the person might belong to the same school, same thought process as you belong to, but you should have that mutual respect, which we always had. And I guess from day one we hit it off. Like the reading sessions, we knew each other's space, I felt, and we respected that. So sometimes it used to be like, Jim, ye karna hai tujhe? Jim was like, I feel I want to do it. I said, okay, let's try.
Right.
And at times he used to be like, Vaibhav, are you sure you want to take this beat even though it is written? Are you sure you want to take it? I'm like, chalo karke dekhte hain. And then finally we maneuvered out.
Right. So that mutual respect for each other's processes and
I think that's a prerequisite.
Yeah. And that shows on screen, right? It does, I suppose.
Yeah, we got along like a house of cards. So I don't know what the expression is, right?
Yeah.
We had a great
House
time.
on fire. Yeah.
House on fire. Yeah.
House of cards is like always falling.
Always falling. Gir jayega.
But you have someone like Naseeruddin Shah playing J.R.D. Tata there. Your character is sort of like intimidated and odd. Your character isn't, because that's the equation you share. Was it like that on set as well with Naseer sir?
Yes, he knew him before as well. I didn't. One thing I want to share here, which is something very close to my heart. I was always intrigued by this word rhythm.
Right.
Since the day I started acting, rhythm was something I always wanted to play around with. I remember the first time I did a workshop, it was Dr. Vijaya Mehta.
Okay.
She mentioned one thing very clearly that I'll say that in the local language in which she mentioned. She said that in Marathi ki stabdhate mule laykari milte. I'll explain that in Hindi, English as well. Stabdhata means poise. And laykari means rhythm. So it's very important to have the poise to get that rhythm. And that stayed with me forever. And when it came to working with Naseer sir, I had watched his movies, I had seen his plays. But when an actor is right here and when he's speaking, for me, certain doors suddenly opened. So Naseer sir has this opinion that acting cannot be taught, but it can be learned. I felt I was a very sincere student on set whenever he was there. And I genuinely feel that Vaibhav before Titan and after working with Naseer sir, observing him after that, I think I have grown as an actor by leaps and bounds. And I really want to thank the producers and the directors for casting me in this particular project. So working with, and I used to tell my co-actors, I am playing it very subtle, but I am really quite overwhelmed by his presence.
Yeah.
So one of my friend was like, ये सिर्फ
it's
तुझे
not
लगता है कि तू subtle है, पूरी दुनिया को दिख रहा है you are overwhelmed.
And probably Naseer sir could also see that.
Yeah. And he was very sweet. Like I never, like as I said, Jim and he were like quite pally, but मैंने कभी वो distance cross नहीं किया. I always had that thing, but he was very sweet. And
Because you didn't want to, or because you didn't feel like you.
no, I was in awe of him. Of course, I discussed about his film. The film's name is Khuda ke liye. बहुत पुरानी film
Of course, I know.
He had a guest appearance, and
The
that was
cameo,
a 15-minute monologue.
That is the essence of the film.
Yes,
but yeah,
exactly.
that
So
monologue,
college में it was a trend कि सारे जो art circle के students थे, we used to learn that monologue and then we used
मैंने
to
भी
just
किया.
perform.
I know.
Bukhari Sharif volume number 3 बरस number 94. So I discussed that with him, and yeah. So but we had a really good time on set.
But what does I will always, someone was describing acting as a tennis match, and I said, no, it's more like synchronized swimming. Because acting, reacting, you need to be a little bit in tune with your fellow performer in the scene.
Well, it's not against each other.
Yeah, it's with each other, which is why I say synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
So what does an actor of the caliber of Naseeruddin Shah bring to, how does he change a scene? Because you've worked with him now.
I think first and foremost, he just does all of the basics very, very, very well. So he comes completely prepared.
Right.
He knows all his lines. He knows all his beats. He understands the rhythm of the scene. He doesn't take unnecessary pauses where they aren't there. He allows tension to build by not taking that pause and releasing it when the time for the pause is there. He is an incredible listener. He notices everything you do. He incorporates what he notices into the delivery of his next line. He makes whatever you've done seem like it's part of the scene, whether it is correct or not, because he's noticed it and he's allowed for it.
Right.
In the way that he's looked at you, in the way that he's heard it, in the way that it affects the delivery of his next line. You can only do that if you're very well prepared, if you understand the rhythm, if you understand the beats. He offers you something at the end of his line, which now you can take and use to motivate your next line.
Right.
And what that creates is a scene where you just feel that the words are popping out of you.
Yeah.
Where you're thinking after the line,
Exactly.
not before the line.
Which makes it much more spontaneous and natural. Yeah.
Just now, we aren't thinking of what we're going to say. We just start speaking.
Right.
The words are the thought.
Yeah. That naturalness, yeah.
His strength.
Wow.
I remember one scene.
Yeah, please.
Naseer sir enters the room. We are sitting there. JRD Tata enters and he's like, घड़ी बनाने के लिए कितना
वक्त लगेगा? हाँ.
So he looks at me. I'm like, 3-4 साल. He's like, 4 साल. Then Naseer sir says, 5 साल. Till that time, I'll not wear the watch. So while reading the scene, we're like, हाँ, we had certain things. We had certain notions that ये graph होगा इस scene का. I remember very clearly after the last dialogue, we are supposed to look at each other. Both of us had tears in the eyes, like moist eyes, and this is something which was not planned. It is just because of the magic that was created by Naseer sir. We tend to react, like we reacted in a way which we had not thought. So I think that is the magic of that person.
A small question. When someone like that is acting in front of you, how challenging is it to stay in character and not become a fan because of what you're watching in front of you? Does that ever happen, or are you more in control?
I had to be conscious of that.
You had to
Vaibhav, I know you're in awe, but right now, just make sure that you are not out of the character.
Then you bring all your training there.
Don't become Vaibhav right now.
Yeah,
You're someone
exactly.
else. Luckily, that character was also supposed to be overwhelmed by his presence.
Works for you.
That
No,
worked for
the
me.
thing is, in both of our cases, what was real is luckily what we had to represent.
Right.
Yeah.
So that awe had to be there.
Mentor-mentee for me.
Yeah, of course.
I've known him in the past, but I still look up to him and hang on his every word. You know, there's so much to learn from this man.
Of course.
That's my character's approach. And his was, I've never met this person before. I've suddenly been thrown into the Tatas. I've heard of this legend. Now the legend is asking me questions.
Very on brand.
It's exactly.
Exactly.
So life imitated art in this case. I mean, art imitated life in this case. And we just got to play what we actually felt in the moments.
Right.
So it was very easy to make that transition.
I gotta ask you, one of the key aspects of this show is that at that time, which happens today as well, Indians were underestimated a lot, particularly in the technical aspects of things that, the Indians can't make a fine watch. You simply can't. In your lives, in your professions, was there ever a point when you felt that as an Indian, you or something around you, your project or something, was being underestimated globally across, or by people of our own fraternity, where you felt that just by being Indian, you were being sort of underestimated or downplayed?
Like, I can't say about a particular project, but in general, I feel that at times we Indians, we underestimate ourselves in general. We are the only species on this planet who will look down upon a fellow Indian because he's not fluent in a foreign language called English.
Yes.
It'll never happen in France, it'll never happen in some other country, but that happens in India. Of course, the history that we have. But I guess we should be just
But you're
more
right.
proud of
Yeah.
our existence.
I agree, because we have videos of Korean and Japanese actors trying to speak English, and that's branded cute. When our own actors try to do that with the same amount of fluency, we look down upon them. So I know
Honestly, when it comes to accent, I truly believe that none of the accent is more euphonious than the other. It's just that when two people from two different parts of the world are in a conversation, both of them feel that the other one is having an accent. It's as simple as that.
I didn't know I had an Indian accent up until people pointed it out to me. I thought it was pretty neutral, and that's what I still believe. For you, do you agree with this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Nothing to add to it.
No, I hadn't thought about it in terms of that underestimation. I think that is just like because of an unfortunate history of kind of aping or of placing the idea of foreignness on a higher pedestal than our own intrinsic power, which is such a waste of time.
Yeah.
But in terms of underestimation overall, I think for a while there was this rumor floating around that when you sent your films for film festivals or for award shows, international award shows, that they won't even watch it.
Yeah.
The Indian film, 3 hours, singing, dancing, who's going to watch it? I think that's sad.
That's very sad.
And I think it's believing in a similar notion that you're talking about, that only one way is right.
Yeah.
And that diversity instead shouldn't be welcomed, recognized, and encouraged.
Let alone celebrated. Yeah.
Celebrated.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, and all the best for Titan. I hope the audiences love it as much as you loved it while doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.